Hey guys, and welcome to my Mr. Pandaria Holy Paladin Arena and PvP overview. Now I'm going to be going over the major changes that are affecting Holy Paladins in a PvP and arena setting. So I might be skipping over some of the smaller things that PvE Holy Paladins might be interested in. So I'm going to be going over the sprints that we have in Mr. Pandaria, cooldown changes, and some of the new healing mechanics, and then I'm going to be going over how Holy Paladins are going to be CCing in Mr. Pandaria. So I'm going to start off with the movement. So I've got the movement tier open here with, in the talents, and we've got access to all the same movement speed increases that Ret kind of relies on. So that means that Holy Paladins are going to be really zooming around the map. We've got Long Arm of the Law and Pursuit of Justice. Both are going to make you run really fast, basically. And Long Arm of the Law, I can really see a lot of uses for this, including sprinting away from priests when they run at you for that fear, and also getting away from melee cleaves with a freedom and then a judge on something and you get that movement speed increase. Now that's going to be really effective in both staying out of CC and then staying alive against melee cleaves. So that's the movement tier, and I think that's going to be a really big buff, even though it isn't such a mechanical thing. It's not an increase in healing or anything, but I think it's really going to help a lot of Holy Paladins stay out of CC and also stay alive. In terms of cooldowns, we've got a couple new cooldowns, and some of our cooldowns have been changed. Holy Avenger at level 75 is like a zealotry, but it's for all specs. So I'm just going to demonstrate how Holy Avenger works. So I'll just pop Holy Avenger, and basically, as you can see, I get instantly 3 Holy Power whenever I use any ability that would generate Holy Power. So if I just Holy Shock myself, I get instantly 3 Holy Power. So I think that's definitely going to be an awesome cooldown for when you can't afford to be casting very much and you just need that Holy Power, you need to get that healing output out. And that's on a 2-minute cooldown and lasts for 15 seconds. Another change in terms of cooldowns is Bubble. The cooldown, if you take Unbreakable Spirit, is essentially going to be reduced by 50%. So the cooldown of Bubble is going to come down to 2.5 minutes. And that's going to be awesome because Bubble gets you, as most of you probably know, out of all CC. It gets you out of anything apart from Cyclone. So it's essentially 2.5 minutes off another trinket. So it's going to be really awesome. If you do get in that CC, you're going to have that Bubble available a lot quicker. And we've also got changes to Aura Mastery. It's kind of all been rolled into one spell. So because auras are completely gone from in Mr. Pandaria, basically when you pop Aura Mastery, it'll reduce damage, magical damage taken by 20%, and it'll also make you immune to silence and interrupt effects for 6 seconds. So they've rolled both of the effects in that were used for Aura Mastery into one spell. Basically that's it in terms of cooldowns. Now there's a few healing mechanic changes. I'm going to look at the level 45 tier here. We've got Selfless Healer, Eternal Flame, and Sacred Shield. Now I'm just going to use Eternal Flame on myself here. So if I just Holy Shock myself, I'll just get 3 Holy Power up, and I'll just get it ticking on myself. So as you can see, it lasts 30 seconds, and it's ticking on myself for around for about 8k, sorry, and it'll crit for double that. So, and it lasts for 30 seconds. So it's really quite amazing. I mean, imagine if you had that currently on live servers, when you get in that terrible CC, and you just if you had an Eternal Flame on your DPS, then they'd probably be alive a lot more often. So I kind of think it's very similar to an Earth Shield sort of thing, how it just ticks on your target. You can only have it on one target at a time, much like Earth Shield. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, and I think that's an awesome spell. On the same tier though, we've got a few choices here. We've got Sacred Shield, which is an absorb shield and increases the critical strike chance of Flash of Light, and that's got no cooldown, and it just costs a bit of mana. And we've got Selfless Healer. So Selfless Healer, as you judge 3 times, you get an instant instant flash of light, and it heals for 100% more on other targets. So that's going to be interesting. I think Eternal Flame is the best out of those, but we'll see how that works out. And the other mechanical change that I really like is in the glyphs department, and I've taken this glyph. It's called Glyph of Beacon of Light, and what it does is it removes the global cooldown on Beacon of Light. A lot of you Holy Paladins that kind of play Arena often will realize that whenever someone switches, like makes a rapid switch to someone else on your team, you kind of often can't get Beacon of Light off before they take a lot of damage. So you're left with Beacon of Light on the wrong target, and you're losing out on a lot of heals. With this, you can just quickly switch Beacon of Light between targets, and you get that Beacon of Light benefit without having to waste a global. And I think that's really awesome, because before it was just really annoying having to waste a global on Beacon of Light and watching your target take a whole lot of damage while you couldn't heal them up because you wasted a global. So yeah, that's a really interesting mechanical change. And then finally CC. So I'm going to go back to the talents here, and in the second tier we've got the CC tier, and I think what every Holy Paladin is going to be taking is Repentance. It's a castable, spammable CC, much like, say, Sheep or Fear, and it's just an incapacitate. And it's got it's got a 30-yard range. It's got no CC and pretty measly mana cost, and it's got a 1.4 second cast with the current haste that I have in my gear. So that'll be really cool having an extra CC. The only thing to watch will be being kicked on your holy tree, because Repentance is a holy spell. So that'll be the only thing to watch, but other than that, it's a massive buff for Holy Paladins having a spammable CC. I mean, now I've got 3 CCs that we can actually use, and before the only thing that we could possibly use as a crowd control was Fists of Justice. So basically, Holy Paladins getting a whole lot of extra cool things that I consider all to be buffs. I mean, I think they're all pretty cool. So in summary, we've got more CC, we've got more movement, we've got better cooldowns, and we've got cool abilities like Eternal Flame, Sacred Shield, and Selfless Healer that are really going to help out with the healing, especially when you're in CC. So I really like Holy Paladins for PvP in Mr. Pandaria. We're not just going to be the heal tanks that we currently are on live servers, just sitting there and bombing heals until we're out of cooldowns. So I'm really liking it. And let me know what you think about Holy Paladins in Mr. Pandaria. Thanks for watching. Festival time, then this woman is a goddess of that festival shrine. Met her when I jam in that garden of sorts. I must confess, God bless, I'm impure.